All right, well, Tim Frisch with a Frisch Perspective here, and today I'm with Evelyn Cormier, who is a singer, songwriter, musician, author.
Almost.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because not only do you write music, but you're writing books now.
I am. I've been working on a book now for like 2 years, and this is going to be the year that I finish it, hopefully, and publish it.
Really? Yeah. So what's this book about, basically?
It's a historical fiction, so it's got nothing to do with me or my life, which people keep asking me about. Like, they think that I'm writing some, like, autobiography. I'm like, I'm still alive, and there's still, like, so much more that I'd like to happen before I'm like, I'm going to write a book about me. But no, I'm writing a book. It's just a period drama, so anybody who likes, like, Jane Austen, Emily Bronte, like, that's my inspiration. That's, like, my niche, I guess. So,
that's awesome. Yeah. Well, that's cool because you've been doing music and really getting in. We're going to talk about that today. But the fact that now you're adding to that and doing books is really cool. So let's talk about music, though. You have been on, I think you were on a show once.
Really?
Yeah. What was that show called? It's like a music show. I've seen it on TV before.
America's Next Top Idol.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Something like that. And wasn't Kelly Clarkson from that show?
Yeah.
That's like, I remember that. Like when that show started, American Idol. Season. She was the one that won. And so you were actually on that show last season.
Yep.
And you, what was that like for you, being on a show like that?
I think that it was just very, like, it's very overwhelming, but it's very exciting. You're kind of like living in this manufactured environment with like the other contestants. You're all stressed out and anxious, but you're excited because this is a crazy opportunity, especially for like independent artists who, you know, you're releasing music and you couldn't pay for the kind of promotion that a live television show could do for your original music or anything like that.
Yeah. So has that helped a lot, would you say? Has it really changed your music career since you've been on that show?
Yeah, I feel like it definitely brought me more of a platform because, you know, you can still organically make new fans and everything as you play out shows, but it's kind of like then you have this one big show that's like millions of people are watching every week, so you kind of, I don't know, it's definitely like an easier access to more people.
It must be cool too when you go to places for people to be able to say, this is Evelyn, she was on American Idol. That must kind of open up some doors for you.
It definitely does. It gives you a little bit of credibility as far as like, you know, especially since I've moved to LA, when my manager's introducing me to people, he's not like, here's Evelyn, just another singer, songwriter who's out here in LA like everybody else's dream, because really everybody's got a lot of the same dreams in LA. But it helps a little bit like, hey, here's a finalist from American Idol, and it kind of sometimes makes them more inclined to listen a little bit more and kind of like, okay, like, let's show me what you can do kind of thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you've probably, because of that show, had opportunities to talk with producers, and you mentioned LA. So that's actually where you've been living. Yeah. For how long now?
I've been living in LA for maybe 6 months, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe 5, 6 months.
So we're in the kind of the end of winter. It's supposed to be spring.
Yeah.
So we're back. You're back in New England. You escaped LA.
Yeah,
and literally because we're in quarantine situations right now, right? LA is kind of in lockdown.
Literally lockdown, and I had a feeling that was about to happen, and I wanted to just the mentality. I had a sense. I had some wisdom given to me. No, I just felt like the mentality in LA right now is like people are so anxious and people are so nervous, and like I said, you know, everybody's buying everything, even here. But it's just like when you're in the city versus here, it's so much different. Like I knew, like I need to come get a break. Yeah. Be able to relax, create. You know, and if we get quarantined, we get quarantined.
Yeah, it's a more relaxed feel here.
Yeah.
So we're in New England now. And we had like 5 inches of snow last night.
We did. Yeah.
It's supposed to be spring, but it doesn't really feel
I was really happy about it actually, because I felt like I skipped Christmas this year because there was no snow in LA, obviously no snow. But I just felt like it just didn't even happen. And then so I got to kind of relive Christmas yesterday.
I'm glad we could do that for you.
Thank you.
Glad we could give you the feeling of winter that you missed in LA.
Yeah.
So it was pretty warm out there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, normally it's pretty warm. Even like I just lived through the winter in LA, and like the lowest it got was like 45, so it wasn't that bad. And that was rare. That was people were like,
especially where you're from, New England.
Yeah.
I mean, today I think may have been around 45,
right.
and it feels good. This is spring
like,
here.
Wow, get outside and walk.
Yeah. So, what do you think of LA overall?
Yeah,
when
overall.
it's not in quarantine and it's not like everybody's freaking out.
When it's not in lockdown, LA is pretty cool. Like, there's definitely like if you're a person that likes to get out and do something every single day, like LA is the place for you. I do like LA a lot, but I'm also pretty much like a homebody, so I like to stay at home. I'm writing music all the time, I'm working on a book, so like I'm not like dying to get out all the time. But like I said, LA, you know, they do have Panda Express. This is not a plug for Panda Express, but I really like enjoy Panda Express. And
are you sponsored by Panda Express?
Not sponsored. That's why I just wanted to clear that up. But I do really enjoy that I live like a block away from Panda Express.
Okay, so Panda Express is a bonus.
It's a highlight. It's a highlight, and there are like, you know what I mean. You have to recognize it's like all the opportunities for me are in LA. So it's like my manager can text me when I didn't have anything scheduled the day, and he'll be like, "Okay, you got a meeting with so and so producer, so and so singer songwriter, whatever." But like that day, it's happening. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not next week fly out. It's like today, you're meeting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's so cool. So, what are some opportunities that you've had in the past year or so? Now that you're really going all in on your music career out in LA, I mean, you've been overseas.
Yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah. So yeah, I've had a lot of just really exciting and I feel like just kind of opportunities that have helped me further my career. Kind of, I'm still definitely like following my own journey because you never really feel like, you know, you've arrived or whatever. I'm constantly working and I'm constantly like thinking about my next step. And but I moved to Los Angeles. That was really big change. I've been working with my manager, he's been great. We've been doing a lot of different things, like networking a lot. Like like I said, meeting producers, trying to figure out recording stuff, writing new music. And then I went to England recently, like you said. I did a small tour there. I think I really enjoyed it. I played the Green Note, and the Green Note is like a very famous folk venue in London. Yep. And yeah, it's just really cool. And I think the vibe in London, or just in general in England, it felt a lot different than when I go out and play here. Like I felt like people when they were at the shows in England, like, you know, they weren't on their phones. They were like really interested in like the songwriting and the music, and just, I don't know, their original music was well received, I feel. That's
cool. Even more so than what you get in the States, you would say. That's cool. Well, hello to any English people watching, because I love England. I mean, that's a interest my family has. Yeah. That's kind of a dream. I'm a little jealous, to be honest, because I'm kind of working, we'll talk a little bit here about, we've done some music together, and I would love to, if there's any way to perform with you in England, that's what I want to do.
Let's do it.
It's funny, because now that you're out in LA, it's like just as far to go to LA as it is to England.
It's crazy.
From here.
It's almost a 6-hour flight to Los Angeles. But the craziest thing is, like, it's a 6-hour flight to Los Angeles, but it's a 4.5-hour flight back from Los Angeles here. So I always like the trip. I like the trip here better than the trip home.
Yes, you do make better timing. Yeah.
I like good tailwind.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember us playing together on several occasions, but the time we were talking about this recently that I really remember is we were playing at a Claremont's Got Talent. So this is how she really made her start, was in the big city of Claremont, New Hampshire. And what happened though is we were singing together. I was playing the piano and your dad was playing, and Nate on the drums, and they set up my mic with a boom stand, but they pulled it out too far, so it was sitting. The mic was fine until I got up to piano, and of course, it's when we started playing. The performance is on, the lights are on, and then the mic just starts creeping down, and I'm like, and I'm the one singing a solo at that point. Yeah. Do you remember that? Like, did you actually know that was happening? That I'm in panic mode while you're over there just doing your thing?
Well, maybe this one thing that I just remembered too, and maybe this was my payment for not realizing what was happening and helping you. But I actually, the last performance that I did on American Idol, the music started, and my mic stand started going, "Nee," and I was like,
You knew
like
my
this
pain.
is live television,
You
like
knew
what's happening?
a little different.
Like, trying to fix it, but yeah, no, I just remembered that.
I have to be honest, I really like pre-recording things for that reason.
Yeah.
Live television is hard.
It is.
That must have been crazy.
It was.
That experience.
And it still is thinking about it, get a little bit of anxiety, yeah.
So after that, though, after that whole experience, and now you're in LA, would you say you're building your comfort level more and more? That it's just getting easier to perform and to be who you are?
Yeah, I think that American Idol was so scary for me that like I did it though. It's in the past. Like I've accomplished that, and I faced those fears even though they were so scary.
You always kind of dreaded the idea of being on a show like that, right?
Yeah, I didn't plan on doing that. So.
But you stepped out in faith.
Hey, yeah, I felt like God brought the opportunity to me, and why not follow through? Like I told God, like if the opportunity came to me, that I would follow through with that, and it literally came to me, and
that's awesome.
I had to do it. And and I feel like after American Idol, I feel a sense of like, okay, if I can do that, if I could face that kind of scary, like I can perform on whatever now. Like I can, let's do whatever. I can do it.
Nothing compares to that.
Nothing compares to that anxiety, yeah.
That's awesome. But the judges loved you, actually.
They were really nice.
They were really, really supportive of you. So I think that's awesome. And it says a lot about your music. And you mentioned that you're kind of in, I guess you would call it an indie artist, kind of like you do your own type of thing. It's not necessarily mainstream pop music, but it's definitely your unique style. So we're going to actually have Evelyn's brother, who often performs with her. He's going to get ready here. This is Saul coming on the camera here on the keyboard. And you just wrote a song.
Yeah, this is brand
pretty
new.
Recently, and I asked you what it was called, and you weren't even sure 100%, but it's something like I Believe in You. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a new song, I Believe in You.
Yep. This is our debut performance of it, too.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you.
From a storm, you make me feel like I can do anything. You believe in me, I believe in you. You make me feel like I can do anything. You believe in me, I believe in you. Ooh.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That is so beautiful. I heard you do that actually on a live stream.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I want her to do that on my channel. So thank you so much. I'm so honored.
Thank you. No, I just
really
finished
like
that
publicly
last night.
debuting it here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. That is awesome. So what's
you.
the story of that? Like, how did you come to write that one?
Yeah, I think just kind of like I normally write in my room, but I was kind of looking out my window. I was like watching the birds. I was just thinking about the whole world, like everything going on right now, and like people just need a little bit of hope and like the feeling that you can kind of get through anything. And I think that everybody wants somebody in their life that makes them feel that way. You know what I mean? And so I just wanted to write a song that everybody can relate to. Who doesn't want somebody that makes them feel like they're on top of the world, that they could do anything, you know, like that, with them by your side, that you can, you know,
That's awesome.
do anything.
Yeah, and that's really an encouraging lyric there, you know, just that's awesome. And I love that about your music. It's very uplifting.
Thank you.
And what's neat too about your music is that, you know, you are not, and this is another little backstory of us, so they're going to learn about, you know, kind of some of our things together. I actually taught her some music theory.
Yes.
And you loved it, right? You just loved when I taught you music theory.
It was
No, but what I was going to say is, though, when you write your songs, you've learned so much on your own. Like, it's just, and your family too. It's like Saul was just playing, and a lot of that's just by ear, right? So what's that process like for you? I mean, how do you write a song? You don't have to tell us every, but I mean, you write the words and you write the music. So
Yeah.
what are some of the things that go into that?
they're kind of like, I feel like there's no set way that I like follow every single time.
Right.
But with this particular song, I kind of had the guitar riff. I was just kind of messing around with some chords, and then I had the lyric. I had like the group of lyrics. You make me feel like I can do anything. You believe in me, I believe in you. That's all I had in my mind. Like, I just had
So
that.
that kind of just came to you, that idea.
Yeah. And I feel like every song that I write, I feel like I already know what the words are. I just have to find them in my mind. Like, I feel like I already know. You know what I mean? Like, it's a song in my mind that I've heard before or whatever, because everything has come from, you know, inside. And so it's kind of playing a game of, what word am I feeling or hearing? Usually sometimes it's like syllables or whatever, but then you just turn it into a song.
That's so cool. So it's just very organic for you guys. I mean, you're all just really natural at it. And I mean, we've done competitions. You've always been someone who just had a natural talent.
Thank you.
You know, just amazing. And I actually just have to be honest. Like, I've really heard you since you were pretty young. That, you know, you get better and better. Your music is just incredible.
Thank you.
Now, in a little bit, I do want you to do another song. I was hoping you might do that other one that I really liked.
I will. I prepared it.
Okay. We're going to introduce another one, but I want actually to take a little time here to just talk about, we were talking about your songs being uplifting.
Yeah.
And I think that comes a little bit from your background and who you are inwardly. And I think it came out too when you have been on television. People know you're a person of faith. What's it like being out in California? I mean, they do have churches out there, I think. I think they might
Yes,
have
they do.
some.
They do still have some churches.
So are you going to church out there?
Yeah,
Okay.
we found, my husband and I found a church out there, actually in Hollywood, not the place that you would expect to find your home church, but we found our home church in
Right in Hollywood.
Yeah, it's called Reality LA.
Wow.
Yeah, we really have been enjoying it. We just got connected with a small group just in time for them to be like, we've disbanded.
Yes, of course, yes. Now we're not meeting.
We're like, yep, sorry.
That's interesting. Reality Church.
Reality LA.
Which is fascinating. Do you know why they call it that?
They did explain it once.
But you're not sure why. Because to me it kind of sounds like, you know, in a city where you have so much acting, where you have so much that's just kind of made up, really. You know, that Reality Church, I mean, that's kind of bringing us back to the truth.
Right.
Right?
I mean, they're very biblically centered,
That's
you know,
cool.
around the gospel and everything, and that's cool. You know, it's hard to find a church that is willing to preach from the Bible, preach from the gospel every Sunday, and be able to, you know, I don't know, just hold firm in that foundation. And we really have appreciated the preaching and everything around the church, not just for the music. You can find great music at any of the churches in LA.
Sure.
But yeah.
There's a little bit of talent out there.
There's definitely, yeah.
But it's about more than that.
Yeah,
right?
It's about more than that. Yeah, we didn't want to choose a church based on the music.
Yeah, that's so cool. So what has it been like then for you? I mean, this is quite a journey, as we've been talking about this today, that, and there's still a lot you don't know what's going to happen as far as your music career and everything.
Yeah.
Maybe we can talk about some of your goals, but at this point, would you say that your faith is pretty important, being where you are right now in a new setting and not knowing exactly how things are going with your career in life and all that?
Yeah, I'd say that, my whole life is kind of centered around my faith, and so anything that I do has to kind of align in a parallel way. And so, there have been opportunities that I've had to turn down while being in LA. There was actually, I had a friend of mine who wanted me to star in a movie that he was making, and I could not star in that movie because it was actually a Mormon movie, and I would be portraying somebody in that. But I didn't want to. I just didn't feel.
And that's the culture out there. It's kind of like you're just playing a part.
You're just playing a part, and
right?
even I had to explain that to other people because they're like, "You do know what acting is, right?" I'm like, "I do actually," but I said there are like a set of morals that I have and things that I believe in and things that I would not like to portray or misguide or mislead. And I said I have to stay true to myself, because once you start compromising with small things, it's kind of like, where does it end, Yeah.
So what are you thinking then as far as, with all of this? It's really about your music more than it is about acting or anything like that anyway. So what are you thinking the future might hold for you? At least ideally, what are some things you're hoping to do? You were supposed to actually be playing in LA, this time,
Monday.
Right?
Yeah, yesterday I was supposed to be playing, but there's lots of things that I would have been doing, but I'm here now. But it is God's will that I'm home and I'm writing and doing other things. But I think for me, my goals, it's so frustrating because it's so difficult to break through with a song in the music industry, and you have to have a hit song to really launch your real career. But the thing is, I don't know if you've listened to any of the top 40 on the radio right now, it doesn't sound anything like what I do. You know what I mean? And I don't want to have to conform to that to have a hit song or whatever. I don't want to compromise that. So my goal and what I'm praying about is that I can write from my own mind and from God, that I can write my own song that can go on to be very successful. You know what I mean? That I don't need to compromise or give in to whatever, that's not what I'm about. But that's one of my biggest goals, and what I'm really focusing on is I want to write that song, that one song that's going to help really launch your career,
That's awesome. And I just hope that people watching will pray for Evelyn.
Yeah.
I'm sure you would appreciate that.
Absolutely.
It's easy to think when people are in the limelight. I mean, you've probably seen a shift. People who knew you before, people who know you now, that people that are in the limelight, I don't know, we just get this we all know better, but we still think, they have it all together.
This rose-colored lens.
I don't know what it is. And if you've been successful, it does say something about you.
Yeah.
But it's easy to misperceive that you somehow are you don't have the normal problems, but you do, right?
I do.
You have the normal problems that everybody else does.
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm a really normal person. For me, nothing much
pretty
has
normal.
changed.
I mean, I've known you a long time.
True, you have. But there's a lot of times that I actually feel really discouraged with my music, or I feel really discouraged with life or different things going on. I have my own problems and my own struggles that I'm working through as a human being, and trying to and I never try to hide those things from the world, but at the same time I'm still trying to keep my own privacy and still kind of so I'm pretty open about the fact that I do have struggles, and I do feel discouraged at times, but I also am pretty open about where I find my strength and hope in God, and just when in times of discouragement to really just, what, this is what God's called me to do, and you just you just have to keep going. You can't just quit when times get tough, you know.
I've seen you persevere.
Thank
and you have a great work ethic in everything I've seen, and I think that's so important. But like you said, you can only do so much on your own, right? And you have to get back to your trust in God. So I'm really glad that you took some time to talk about your faith. I know that's very important. So we've been talking about your music, and you know, I mentioned earlier that there's a song I really like. You sang it when you came back here and performed at Remix in Claremont, and I thought when you sang it, it really was kind of to me a very magical kind of a feel to it. I really love that. You know, when all of a sudden you can tell when a room gets really quiet, it's like, yeah, it kind of had that aura, and it was really, really beautiful. And I just want to also mention that I kind of had a stressful time recently where I was doing a thesis defense for a doctor of ministry, and I was like actually listening to that song. You know how you listen to some music and it's just very peaceful, and it really helps you when you're going through like stressful times.
I'm glad I could help you do that.
If you're feeling stressed out at this time, which a lot of us are with the coronavirus and all this stuff, this is a good song for that. So why don't you tell me a little bit about it, because I heard it and I like it a lot, but it's called Little White Rabbit.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like, it's a very kind of out there, fun song. Like, it definitely has a lot of deeper meaning.
Yes.
But it's a very like, if somebody's not very like, doesn't want to think beneath it, it's kind of a random, kind of quirky song. You're like, huh, what does this mean? Whatever. But it's really just like, I came up with this guitar riff, and I'm like, this feels very magical. And I had, like I said, I had a few lyrics. Like, anytime I think of anything, I just write them down on my phone. And so I had this group of lyrics from like 2 years ago, and I'm like, I've always wanted to use them, but they seem a little too fun for a lot of like the melancholy songs that I tend to write. And so I'm like, no, I think this is a song. I feel like this is like a magical song, and I wanted to, you know, there's going to be little white rabbits. I'm like, there's going to be hats. And I was like, it's kind of like the great disappearing act. It's kind of like my message to people who have been watching me doing my thing, and kind of like, I'm here now, but now I'm not. Like, what am I going to do next?
Exactly.
But this is my song.
And that's what I find. It's very touching. There's just something about it that's very touching. So yeah, let's hear Little White Rabbit.
All right, so you ready?
Yep.
Little white rabbit in an old silk black hat. You've got my card, but I fit the stack. Smoke in the mirror and proof just like that. I've disappeared and I'm not coming back. Broken glass all scattered in the grass from my stone, my stone, my stone. Can you taste the fire on my lips from your phone, your phone, your phone? Little white rabbit in an old silk black hat. You've got my card, but I fit the stack. Smoke in the mirror and proof just like that. I've disappeared and I'm not coming back. Would you steal the rose from a sleeve of my coat, my coat, my coat? Should I warn you, my thorns are no illusion? I'm torn, I'm torn, I'm torn. Little white rabbit in an old silk black hat. You've got my card, but I fit the stack. Smoke in the mirrors and poof, just like that. I've disappeared and I'm not coming back. Did you like my magic? Did you like my magic? And just like magic, I'm 3,000 miles away. Just like magic. Did you like my magic? Did you like my magic?
I do like that magic. That was awesome.
Thank you.
That was really beautiful.
Thank you.
I don't know what it is about that song. I think, for me, I am older than you by quite a bit. And I was kind of coming, into consciousness at the, end of the 70s, beginning of the 80s. And it just has that melancholy sound I remember as a child, but in a really good way.
Thank you.
Like it's very nostalgic.
I'm definitely inspired by a lot of like 70s and 90s music, very acousticy, alternative, but also just like this is kind of silly, and some people might pick up on this. Like there's a couple of songs, or not songs, but some shows or movies that have kind of like maybe given me subconsciously this vibe, but like. I don't know if you've ever seen like the Peter Rabbit movies, like the ones like the real life Peter Rabbit movies with like the animal.
I don't think I have, but
I don't know. Just the music was very kind of whimsical feeling, and I don't know.
So it's kind of like that.
Yeah. I kind of feel like that was a little bit of inspiration there.
I love that about inspiration, how it just kind of you take bits and pieces and it shapes, but
it doesn't even
it becomes
like,
your own thing. Yeah, it's not conscious. It's not like you're taking right from it, but it shapes how you develop your own music. And I love that about music. I mean, it's just such a connection point with so many people, and I think that's a good example of it. Where for me, it brings me back to a certain time period.
Cool.
And I love that about music. Well, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I really can't thank you enough. And Saul. Thank you so much, and also your mom Jackie. She's helped us out today, so thank you so much, and thank you, Evelyn. You are just a blessing.
Thank you.
You really are.
For having me.
I just feel so honored that you came on my channel. I mean, you've done such great things, and here you are on my little channel, and I really do appreciate it.
I just have to say that like. Pastor Tim has been working with me for as long as I can remember. Like, I know remember when we did like the Teens Involved stuff.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if I chose Blessings or you chose Blessings, but I worked really hard in that song, and that song made me so frustrated. But I knew that like whenever I would work on a song with you, that you would like push me to really like. I don't know, just get it right and get it right.
That's right.
But
I'm a nice guy generally, but she knows my hard side that I'm like kind of a perfectionist.
No, but I felt like you knew like I would kind of fall back on just I can do it and it sounds good, but you're like, no, if you can do it like this, it could sound really good, or like this, or work on this. But I felt like it helped, it pushed me and kind of helped shape who I am today as an artist.
That's awesome. Well, there you go. So I've helped her to become who she is today. You're welcome. Yes. Thank you so much, though, again. And I hope that maybe we can do this again at some point in the future. I got to be honest, I'd really like to get out to LA if you're out there still and I get a chance.
Yeah.
I think plane ticket prices have gone down
so
quite a bit.
Cheap
so
now, guys.
This might be a good time to actually start planning.
Crazy.
Of course, nobody can go anywhere right now,
True.
so that's part of it. But when we can travel again, maybe I'll get out to where you are, and we could do like a interview in front of palm trees and whatever you have out there.
Right, it'll be very exotic looking comparatively to this living
compared
room.
to this. If you could see outside, maybe I'll throw a picture in there.
Yeah.
It's snowy right now, so I look forward to continuing, conversations at some point in the future.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Thank you so much. Great to have you on our show, and thank you so much for watching this part of our conversation series brought to you from a Frisch perspective.